It comes down to these final 2 games. We're going to go into Game 6 and maybe Game 7. If Stats can hold on, he needs to win 2 in a row. Classic is 1 game away from making it to another individual league final here in Korea.
Match point Valdez is what we call it here. Match point for Classic. He might just get his dream of a second team battle in the grand finals. He did that once before against SBENU. It was pretty one-sided, pretty disappointing finals. I don't want to see that again, Valdez.
Neither do I. Stats kind of disappointing us. He's going down.
He's looking so promising in the first 2 games. Can he bring it back? He still looks positive. You know, he doesn't seem to get rattled. He's got a very strong mentality when it comes to these best-of games.
Yeah, he really does.
It's kind of rare, actually.
It is.
In a lot of cases.
Even guys like Hero falling to the pressure at times, going down 0-4. Classic not falling to it, even though he was looking really pressured today, really stressed. Stats now, match points against him. I'm beginning to see it on his face. He's looking a little bit worried going into set number 6 here. The map is going to be Overgrowth for these 2 to battle it out. Can Classic finish it off here and go into the finals with the 4-2, or will Stats make it interesting and bring it to Game 7? Let's find out. Set number 6.
Up here in the top right, as the blue Protoss, he is the man. Classic.
And down here in the bottom left, in the red, our other Protoss player from KT Rolster, getting a bit of a bigger cheer this time. It is Stats.
Yeah, he's lost the last 3 games in a row, Valdez. It's kind of scary. It's a lot of momentum behind Classic at this point. So, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Stats, because if he loses this game, he's out, man. Classic goes to the grand finals up against Dream.
It's as simple as that. And we said it before. We think that Classic will pretty much get stomped, but Stats, I feel like, has a better chance. Overall, I would predict Dream to win against either of these 2 players, I think, to be honest.
If Dream and Classic weren't teammates, I'd say for sure Dream would stomp him. But because they are teammates, and that's that whole other level of sort of metagaming going on, like they know each other that much better. You know, anything could really happen. It'd be very strange games, I think.
Yeah,
we might actually get to experience that. We'll see after this game. It's a bit of a smaller map this time around, Overgrowth.
That it is. And it looked like Classic went for a bit of a faster gateway into faster core here. So trying to get out possibly some tech a bit faster, or maybe just get a bit aggressive. Let's see what he wants to do. He's up a game. He has a game to lose, I guess you could say. A game under his belt.
He's got some space to breathe for now, but I mean, no one wants to go to Game 7, right? Like that is a whole nother level of pressure for both players.
In a PvP as well.
Yeah.
You know,
where like build orders can dictate who wins and who loses. Like, there's a lot of stress going into that one.
No one wants to play that. Except Stats, of course. Because it's his only chance.
That's his only shot.
So, with that faster core, looks like Classic just getting a faster stalker out here. He's going to be able to deny that scout a bit faster than Stats will be able to.
Yeah, pretty similar builds, except when we see a Stargate. And it looks like Stats going to be choosing that tech path, and Classic hasn't chosen one just yet. I get the feeling it might even be a Twilight from him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Already getting out a second stalker. You know, try to rule the map, get into your opponent's face a bit here.
He's saving up a lot, actually. And it's going to be 2 more gateways. Nothing else. It looks like he's going to see actually a lot of aggression, because he is really credit boosting out that warp gate.
Yeah, huge amounts of chrono to boost there. He's still got 3 probes in each gas, so he's building up a bit of gas. Let's see how he wants to play this one. Like I was saying before, he could definitely get very aggressive. And look at this! Stats is going for a very early expanse, trying to get ahead, trying to be risky, but...
Very greedy right now. And
this
pylon.
This is the exact opposite of Stats, what he wants to do right now.
Yeah, this is the last thing Stats is expecting. He has no idea this is coming. That probe might give away the pylon, but it might just be too late because we already see 2 Stalkers in position for it in case that Stalker comes along and tries to be aggressive.
Yeah, Stat's going to try to hold on here with an Oracle and going straight into a robotics facility, but this is hitting so fast right now. Already the Stalker's getting to work on that Nexus.
Yeah, this is going to be a big problem. It should be able to finish, and Photon Overcharge should be able to activate, which will give Stats a little bit more time. But more and more Stalkers are being walked in, and it's going to take a lot of damage before it finishes. It might actually just even go down before it finishes. You know, it's taken already beyond the shield damage.
He may just use it to
buy that time.
Exactly.
Oh man, he needs a lot of time though. He's making his first Immortal now. Goes down. He's going to move up here. He's going to see how much space he actually has to do some work. The longer he waits though, he cannot be scared at this point. He should be targeting down this Robo.
Gonna get the Photon Overcharge forced out here. Gonna take down a couple of probes. That's about it. You know, this Photon Overcharge is gonna buy Stats a lot of time to deal with this, but at the same time, Classic immediately puts down a Nexus and is just gonna trap him in the base with a bunch of sentries.
Yeah, he can contain for a very long time with these couple of sentries as well. This puts Stats in such a hard place because the timer is down, the pressure is there right now. He's going to do a little bit of work here, but very smartly going for that Stargate tech and getting out a Phoenix. Only 5 probes going down, and that Nexus is almost half done at this point.
Yep. Really nicely done here by Classic. He's just getting ahead. So far ahead. It looks like Stats is going to commit to... Oh, he's going to get 2 of these Immortals down the ramp.
Ooh, very smartly done. I think 1 will go down. But
one's going to go down, but he's taking down all these Stalkers.
Very
and 2
nice.
Zealots get warped in on the low ground at the same time, so he's going to break this contain very fast.
Wow, he really turned that around. If Classic was paying attention, he might have had a chance to really get even further ahead by killing those 2 Immortals, or even just one of them with a decent force field. Not going to happen there. Stats is going to find his feet in this game.
Very, very fortunate for Stats. That's... breathes a bit of life here into himself. You know, coming into this game, it was looking really dire after Classic got that contain in the very early Nexus. But I think Stats is still going to be a bit behind, but not as behind as he could have been.
Yeah, it's essentially pretty even in terms of supply. But Classic will have that slight economic advantage because of how much earlier that Nexus was.
What do you think about the tech advantage coming in here?
Look at this. This is a massive blow as well, losing every sentry just about.
For free, too.
For free, man.
Just trading out some energy. He's going to lose 1 Phoenix, but...
worth it completely. Like, no more force fields, no more Guardian Shields.
I was going to begin to question the tech here between these 2 players, but it looks like Classic is making it work with his Phoenixes.
Yeah, well, I do love this early Phoenix play. I mean, he's got all the scouting he'll ever want. He has the potential to pick off a lot of probes and units that are isolated. So I think it's a good choice, and he's obviously he transitioned slowly into that robot facility, getting the mothership core as well. Wow, Classic is just on a roll.
Yeah, getting that damage done, takes out 2 probes in the interim as well, and he's got that natural up and running. Going to eventually get that robotics, as you said, getting further and further ahead in economy now, 38 to 30 in terms of workers. Going to get the faster forge.
Yep. Everything seems to be going Classic's way once again. You know, he's really riding these games to victory.
Yeah.
Riding that momentum to victory, sorry.
And Stats, he's got to be feeling a bit behind. So what does he do here to try to come from behind?
Well, it's hard to say, right? Because he's completely scouted at this point. He's completely in the defensive mode. He's behind in economy. He's behind in upgrades. Like, everything is just going in Classic's favor. There's nothing that's really going to catch him out. So he's really... I think he just has to try and stabilize as best he can. Play defensively, go to 3 bases, get that composition he needs, and, you know, take favorable fights, because he's not going to really catch out Classic at all at this point.
Yeah. Stats going for the scout here with Hallucination, but the Phoenixes are going to catch it, so going to be denied that scouting information. Classic going for a very early third base at the same time.
Oh,
Stats.
what? Look at this. He's going to catch out another Hallucination.
Wow.
That's ridiculous that two Phoenix just were there.
Stats has been, or rather Classic, has been on point this entire series with denying the scouting of Stats, and at the same time, scouting really well himself. He's got so many pylons. He got into the main base twice with the probe after units were out.
It's such an important thing, especially in a mirror match where build orders are so important and unit choices make such a big difference. If you're constantly in the know-how, you know exactly what they're doing at all times, and you're constantly putting the pressure on, like, it just gives you such an edge.
Yeah, it really does. Stats finally is going to see that third base. See if he wants to take advantage of it or just take a third base of his own. You know what Stats may be saying is like, okay, this is PvP. I can sit back. As long as I mirror my opponent just a little bit farther behind and take a good engagement later on when we're both maxed out, I can deal with this. But he doesn't want to seem to take... He doesn't seem to want to take any risks right now.
Yeah, no risks at all.
He's just fine playing from behind in this matchup.
Well, very little choice as well, and he's lost so many probes from these Phoenix, constantly having to remake them in both bases. While that's all happening, the third base of Classics is getting saturated at this point, and everything is just in full force. You know, his production is up and running. He's got 6 gateways. He's got Colossus on the way constantly and +2. Oh, he's looking great.
Yeah, literally everything is ahead.
Everything is ahead right now.
Every single thing. Except Immortals, I suppose.
It's going to take like a really bad engagement for Classic to really throw away any sort of advantage he has right now. Yeah. Granted, they are very similar in supply, but if you look a little bit closer at the production tab, like there is a definite advantage in nearly every category for Classic right now.
Yeah, and he's only getting further and further ahead. Just small advantages like this takes out 3 probes for 1 Phoenix. It's just going to get him slowly ahead of Stats, and I can kind of feel the energy from Classic too. He's not making any mistakes. It's kind of like he's on a roll right now. He's won 3 games in a row, and now he's gotten very far ahead to win his 4th game and win the series, and he's not going to mess this up. It's kind of just like he's in his zone, and he's not thinking about anything else. It's kind of like just he's doing everything right, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's not making any mistakes at this point. He knows what he has to do. It's very clear what he has to do at this point as well. You know, he just has that advantage already. Just like, don't throw it away this time. Yeah. Like you did in game 2, you know, just play that very solid macro game from here. He does have the composition advantage. He's adding Archons now. He's getting that Warp Prism once again, though it is a bit later this time compared to when his army is actually moving out. But that supply advantage says a lot. He's going to be starting to beat down on his third base while his army's out of position.
Supply advantage, he's got his +2 at the same time, poking down a pylon and a gateway. And Classic doesn't want to let Stats play from behind. He wants to end it before these guys get to max out PvP.
Well, does have that pretty heavy unit composition advantage as well. So many Archons being added in. He's currently got 4 compared to the 2 of Stats. The only problem is going to be dealing with the SimCity to get to that Nexus. It's always going to create a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to engaging. But he does have a nice concave here.
Yeah. Classic being so patient with this push. At the same time, he's escorting a Warp Prism to the main with a bunch of Phoenixes. And what is Stats going to have to respond to this?
Well, Stats is just in such a desperate position. He is warping in at home. A couple of Templar, actually, but it's not going to help too much against his Warp-ins.
Yeah, look at all those Warp-ins. Most of those are Classics. You can see by the blue. He's getting the work. Stats desperately trying to warp in a bunch of stuff. That Archon doing a lot of work. Not taking much damage yet. Nice position, but...
Well, not yet, yeah, but still. It's going to create a lot of havoc, going to create a lot of warp-ins that don't want to be placed there when this big army is bearing down on the third base.
And the energy being used by the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core of Classics is here, and a really nice time warp to zone out the army of Stats. Those Colossi in the back there for Classic, and a huge concave getting the big hits.
Oh, look at that. That's a meat grinder right there. You don't be running into that choke point in the third base with 5 Colossus against the 4, and it looks like Classic will be the one going to the grand finals against his teammate Dream.
He's going to do it. Sitting back in his chair, hand off the keyboard for Stats. Everything has been taken out. And Stats will go down here. Classic goes to another finals. GG. Classic will win the series 4-2.
SKT grand finals. The SBENU Star League Season 2.
Yeah, and how suited as well. At the same time, these guys are undefeated right now in Pro League. They're on a roll. Everyone from SK Telecom is playing at their highest point right now, outside of Innovation, I'd say.
Yeah.
He's like the only person. Everyone else is doing so well. Classic and Dream make it through. How fitting, Moonblade.
No, how fitting indeed. SKT, they really are unstoppable. And we can see it really means a lot to Classic. He was looking so tense the entire best of 7 series, and unfortunate for Stats, once again knocked out in the semifinals. 2 seasons in a row though. That says a lot about someone's consistency and how good they actually are.
Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing more of Stats. He's a very confident player. He's getting so close time and time again. These are the kinds of players that you see time and time again. He's at his peak in skill right now. He just has to get that little extra push. Maybe next season, Moonblade.
Maybe next season, mate. We'll see. We'll see about that. I hope so, though, because he is a great player. Big fan of Stats, and I think he deserves a grand final shot.
Yeah. He'll get it, I think. Maybe not this time around. He was stopped by Maru last season, and this time he's stopped by Classic. Let's see if Classic can bring it through in the grand finals to, Maru won the Season 1 SSL, taking out Stats there, and maybe Classic will win Season 2, taking out Stats in the semifinals.
Maybe he's a good luck charm,
Could be.
That's it.
That's an interesting thought going into the finals.
Well,